Well, new at 4, a former JBLM soldier is accused of betraying the U.S. and trying to provide classified information to China. 29-year-old Daniel Schmidt was arrested this week.
A former U.S. Army intelligence sergeant, trained, trusted, and cleared for top secret access, just got sentenced for trying to hand over America's military secrets to China. Do you think it was greed, betrayal, or something deeper? Let's break it down. This story centers around a 31-year-old Daniel Schmidt, an ex-Army intelligence sergeant stationed at JBLM, Joint Base Lewis-McChord in Washington. He served from 2015 to 2020 and had access to classified military systems and was trusted to protect sensitive U.S. defense data. But after he left the Army, something went very wrong with him, and we are going to find out. Before we do that, make sure you hit that like, you hit that subscribe button. It really helped the channel out. All right, let's jump right into who this guy was. There you have it. That's the guy. A former U.S. Army sergeant whose last duty post was JBLM, Joint Base Lewis-McChord, in Western Washington, pleading guilty on Wednesday. That was back in June when he pleaded guilty, but he was sentenced this week. Now, let's take a look at the report from Fox News. It says, ex-Army sergeant sentenced for trying to give state secrets to China after mental health spiral. Now, I'm going to ask you this question. Do you think these soldiers are not getting enough money from the military? Do you think they're doing this because they're trying to get a little bit more of extra cash on the side, like a side hustle? I read a report saying that a lot of sailors and soldiers are trying to get side hustles, driving a cab, doing Uber, doing this other things, but these guys are pretty much leaking secret for a lot of cash. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Let's see what else we got here. Daniel Schmidt served in the Military Intelligence Battalion and had top secret clearance. All right. It says a former Army sergeant who once held top secret clearance at JBLM, Washington State, was sentenced Tuesday to 4 years in federal prison for attempting to provide national defense information to China. Do you think 4 years is enough? Do you think he should get more of a punishment? Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Daniel Schmidt, 31, pleaded guilty in June to attempting to deliver and retain classified material, according to the Department of Justice. U.S. District Judge John C. Kovner also ordered 3 years of supervised release. So pretty much he's going to serve 4 years in prison and then 3 years of supervised release. But that's not all. Let's continue on. Smith's sentence comes as U.S. authorities warn of growing efforts by China to recruit or exploit former military personnel with access to sensitive information. How does China are getting to these people? Do you think it's through social media, websites? I don't know. As a retired Army officer, I find it unconscionable for a former soldier to put his colleagues and country at risk by peddling secret information and intelligence access to a hostile foreign power, acting U.S. Attorney Charles Neal Floor said. Now, this one right here, this is the guy that got sentenced this week, but this one, Navy sailor faces life in prison after selling military secret to China for $12,000 payment. This is another case that we had this year. I'm going to show it to you in a second. Let's finish up with this guy right here. So, Schmidt enlisted in 2015 and served in the Military 109 Military Intelligence Battalion until 2020. Prosecutors said he had access to both secret and top secret system and later contacted Chinese consular officials after leaving the Army. So the guy left the Army and he contacted the Chinese officials. Court records show Schmidt created multiple documents based on classified material and offered them to Chinese security services. He also kept a device capable of accessing secure Army networks, which prosecutors said he offered to Chinese officials. How does he keep that device? When you cleared out an installation, or you're either getting out, retiring, or changing stations, you have to clear installation. Nobody noticed that this device was missing? Because I remember a couple of years ago, if you're missing an NVG or any type of sensitive device, they shut down the post until that device is found. Clearly, this didn't happen here. After leaving the Army, Schmidt traveled to Hong Kong in March of 2020 and continued corresponding with Chinese contacts. So he left the Army and then he traveled to Hong Kong. He lived there for more than 3 years before flying back to San Francisco in October 2023, where he was arrested. He pleaded guilty in June 2025 and was sentenced this past Tuesday in Seattle. So he left the Army, flew to Hong Kong to get in contact with these people, with the Chinese contacts, lived there for 3 years, and then tried to come back to the United States in October 2023, and he was arrested. Okay, Kovner said he weighted the seriousness of Smith's crime and his mental health at the time. Okay, now we're going to pull the mental health card, right? A DOJ spokesperson confirmed to Fox News Digital the judge considers Smith's mental health as a mitigating factor during sentencing. Okay, so we're going to pull the mental health card, right? The agency said Smith's separation from the Army followed a mental health episode. And officials added that no classified material was believed to have reached China. That's what they're saying, that none of the material reached China, but obviously this guy flew to Hong Kong and lived there for 3 years. The FBI and our partners will remain vigilant in our mission to safeguard our nation, said Mike Harrington, special agent in charge of the Seattle field office. Let's see what else. I think this is the last part right here. Assistant U.S. Attorney Todd Greenberg said Schmidt created documents based on classified and national defense information. He used his training to provide sensitive information to the Chinese Security Service. He knew what he was doing was wrong. He was doing web searches for such thing as, can you be extradited for treason? So obviously this guy knew what he was doing. He even lived in Hong Kong for 3 years, and now you're gonna pull the mental health card on your arraignment. Come on, let me know in the comments what do you guys think. This is the one that I was showing you guys earlier. This was in August. Navy sailor faces life in prison after selling military secrets to China for $12,000 payment. Jing Chao Wei used security clearance aboard of USS Essex to collect sensitive weapons information. Okay, a Navy sailor may face life in prison after San Diego jury found him guilty of selling military secrets to China on Thursday. Remember, this was back in August, okay? Prosecutor said Jing Chao Patrick Wade, 25, used his position as a machinist mate on the amphibious assault ship U.S. Essex at Naval Base San Diego to collect sensitive information and offer it to Chinese intelligence officers who recruited him in February 2022. Another recruitment effort from China. Wade held a security clearance and had access to information about the weapon system aboard the Essex. In exchange, the officer paid Wade $12,000 over a year and a half. A jury convicted Wade on 6 of 7 charges: espionage, conspiracy to commit espionage, conspiracy to violate the Arms Export Control Act, and 3 counts of violating the Arms Export Control Act. What is going on? The espionage-related charges carry life sentence and a $250,000 fine. Conspiracy to violate the Arms Export Control Act and each count of violating the act carries penalty up to 20 years in prison and $1 million fine. The Chinese intelligence officer approached Wei and posed as a naval enthusiast working for the China Shipbuilding Industry Corporation, a state-run yard. Wei suspected the officer of being linked to Chinese intelligence. So pretty much you have another case right there. Sailors selling information to the Chinese officials. What do you guys think this is all about? Do you think it's greedy? Do you think they just looking to make some extra cash? Do you think they're not getting paid enough? Let me know in the comments. I want to see your reaction. I want to see your point of view of this one. And this is very important because it relates to our it's our national security, pretty much. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Make sure you hit that like, you hit that subscribe. It really helps the channel out. Thank you so much for your support, and we'll see you on the next one. Stay safe.